So guys, finally, the official trailer for Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps has come out of nowhere. I know there was rumors of trailers and stuff today, and we've had little teasers before this, little extended, the kind of clippy things, but now we finally get to see what I hope is more in terms of, hopefully, Mr. Fantastic stretching, maybe a look at the Silver Surfer, and things like that. This is the official trailer, so this is the one that should really show quite a big, beefy part of what the Fantastic Four is about. So, just like my previous reaction for Fantastic Four, I wanted to do another one, have a little initial first thoughts and impressions breakdown after the reaction. I hope you guys stick around for that part and talk about it with me and leave me your own thoughts in the comments below. But without further ado, leave a like on this video and let's get right into the trailer.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
Okay.
This car?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
Everyone loves them.
Fantastic Four.
Okay. They didn't look too happy, though.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking?
I'm liking the music.
Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What?
Oh.
You're gonna be the best mom.
Does this tie into the whole Galactus thing?
Best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. All things going to change.
Okay. Alright. Galactus on his way, or the Silver Surfer maybe, to warn.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Ooh. Ooh.
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Okay, okay. Wow. Oh. Oh.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
The sound.
Safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up.
There he is.
We will face this together.
Or do we get to hear him?
We will
Nice.
fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
Flame on! I want some, like, ooh, the stretching, finally, okay.
We will protect you.
Okay. Oh, okay, Jesus, that is a, that's like bloody Godzilla walking throughout the streets. Okay, I was hoping to hear right at the end there, I was like, are they going to do it? A bit of the legendary voice of Ralph Ineson there. But, you know, a massive Galactus footstep crumbling the very streets. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take it. So, overall, this trailer was obviously better than what we saw, in my opinion, last time. That was only a teaser. This gave you a bit more of the breadth of the movie, obviously picking up at the beginning of the trailer with them already having their powers, but as we saw in other scenes from the other teaser, we do get to see, you know, them getting hit by the cosmic rays and come into their powers. I don't know the structure of the movie, though, if that's going to be like a flashback, or are we starting off as the beginning of the movie is like present day and they're going up into space and that happens and then you just follow the journey from there on out? Or are we picking up in the day in the life of the Fantastic Four and that is, you know, shown to us through little bursts here and there because, you know, we've seen the origin story before kind of thing. You know, superhero movies, with popular characters like Batman and Superman, something that I am a fan of recently, you kind of pick up with these characters who are still becoming a day in the life of. The movies refer to their origins, but do we need to see the origins again, like beat for beat for beat? Not necessarily. So honestly, I don't really know any like leaky stuff or inside out stuff, so I don't know what they're going to do there, but we do know they're obviously addressing the origin, but I just don't know if they're going to go head over heels into it, because this movie has a lot of other things to address. And speaking of, well, it looks like somebody's going to address the Fantastic Four on behalf of Galactus, the very Herald, the Silver Surfer. Now, I'm still assuming that this is the Shalabal version. No idea if they're going to get into the whole Norrin Red thing, or if that's just this universe's version of it before the Fantastic Four get like yeeted into the MCU. I don't know how any of that stuff is working. Now, the design of it, I think I dig it. It's always going to be a bit, CGI apparent when you're doing the Silver Surfer. Do you know what I mean? So this isn't me like bringing it down. I'm just saying, like, obviously that's a CG character when you're basically like liquid nano kind of metallic Terminator style, the Matrix style. Like, even in 2025, I think that is hard to like pull off, as in like, oh, there's actually metal on my body. Now her voice is like, I almost don't recognize that it's Julia Garner. I was a big fan of hers in Ozark, where she had a very twangy kind of accent. But here her accent's very posh, it's like, your planet has been marked for death. Are you the protectors of this world? I think, I wonder if they're gonna... Again, adaptations don't copy and paste. I say that a lot, so I don't know what they're doing here. Like, is she still the lover of Norrin Rad? Is she this kind of empress, of her own world before Galactus came for her own world, and that's how she became in his service? Yet she still carries this kind of demeanor of somebody who would be very higher tier posh, if you will, like into that of an emperor. I don't know, but very intrigued to see how they adapt it. Like, it is still, like, no matter what people say, like, oh my god, it's a female Silver Surfer, it still is comic accurate. It's taking literally from the comics, but the way they're adapting it here, because we have had a Silver Surfer, female Silver Surfer, the way they're like implementing it here is a mystery still, exactly to what canon they maintain, what canon they adhere to, and yet what they innovate on at the same time. And then I love how Johnny Storm just flies after her, but kind of like leaves the atmosphere, and it's like, my flames are extinguished now. I can't really do much about it. She just smacks him back down. I still like, by the way, quite a bit of this casting, especially Joseph Quinn, which, all I ever see is people being like, terrible casting for Johnny Storm. But I actually really dig Joseph Quinn, and I feel like he's going to bring truly Johnny Storm energy. I do see an iteration of the Human Torch here. Again, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but hey, I'm not hating on the Joseph Quinn thing here. I know, like, the Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards thing is another thing that people are like, oh yeah, the thing is a lot of us love Pedro Pascal, but is he right for Reed Richards? I do vibe with it. I would say that it's not like quintessential casting for a lot of us, but the more I see it, the more I believe it. I have this, love for Pedro Pascal anyway, and the more I'm seeing him in this official trailer, I feel like they're really getting across a good sense of his Reed Richards demeanor. But before I go down that rabbit hole, I need to talk about the stretching, so I need to go back to that frame here. Seeing it quite far away, a wide angle, I mean, I suppose what I will say is it does highlight a good example of, hey, this isn't just his arm stretching out, it's his whole body, his whole leg, keeping him attached to one side of that building while he reaches out to this rubble. And I don't know what he's reaching for there, because that does just look like a bunch of rubble, but maybe somebody is falling from that building, or maybe he's just trying to collect some of the rubble and like scoop it all up, because this is, Mr. Fantastic after all. He can stretch into like a whole little scoopy balloon and just, absorb all of that in theory. So it's going to be interesting to see how far they truly go with his powers. And actually, as the frames unfold, it looks like he's trying to traverse from one side into the rubble, maybe to get somewhere else. Obviously, it's really hard to pull off powers and CGI like that without making it seem like too plasticky, and I know that can kind of be the point, but you don't want to lose the detail of like human skin, and you know what I'm talking about, like on the CW's Flash, when you had the 3D models of Barry running throughout the city, you kind of had this somewhat plastic face, and I know it sounds ridiculous to compare a network show to a Marvel movie budget, but the reason why I do is because despite Marvel movie budgets, Hollywood budgets, sometimes CG can still come across a bit too Play-Doh-y. But here, I guess, I'm digging it. I'm glad that they had to kind of show us in the official trailer. And then, of course, it cuts to Sue Storm, who I think is using her powers to stop the, rubble. Maybe, as it falls down, it, eviscerates it into, finer particles so it doesn't damage people. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to the group superhero dynamic in situations like this, and I'm glad that they showcased more action like this in the trailers. Well, really, it's extended action from what we saw in the previous teaser, but I dig it. But the overall vibe of the story that the trailer is choosing to highlight is certainly an interesting one because, borderline up to almost halfway, from the beginning to the middle, you have the Fantastic Four being celebrated. They're truly being, they're these renowned heroes. Everyone knows them. It's almost this legendary story of these, astronauts who went up into space. It's look at what they became. Our city, our planet owe us a debt to these intrepid souls. We're going to see them come into their superpowers, deal with them. But also, I think what's an interesting thing that the movie's going for is the somewhat pressure you must have as a superhero group like this to be looked upon in that way and have the pressure of feeling like you can solve anything and everything, or at least that's what people believe about you, no matter what, right? And then you have a Silver Surfer come to Earth and Galactus on the way saying, yes, your planet's been marked for death. And that's why, as you get throughout the trailer, on top of Reed and Sue dealing with a baby coming as well, you have the pressure from the people being like, you'll save us, right? And Reed is like, I don't know. Which I don't blame him about, by the way, because, there's threats that they may have faced already, and then there's bloody Galactus, right? But that also interests me as well, speaking of what we were talking about earlier, where we're picking up how they're going to structure the timeline of the Fantastic Four in this movie from origin to a day in the life of. How much have they faced before? Because, they're asked, are you this world's protectors from the Silver Surfer? And we have Sue saying, yes, we are. So what have you faced before that demonstrates your powers as superheroes? Is it just crime, or is it actually other threats like galactic level? Maybe not, because this could be their first galactic, threat with the Silver Surfer warning them. That's going to be interesting to know as well, how much experience do they have as heroes. Now, like what I spoke about ages ago in my teaser trailer, and obviously this was a theory going out there anyway, is there any link to their child and Galactus? I do want to stress, I haven't heard any spoilers. This is truly just a theory that is, even goes back to the comics. I don't know if they're going that route or a different route. Now, speaking of the baby, Reed and Sue, I really do like Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, really just being like, we can face this together at the end. We will face this together as a family. And I really hope that she gets, I don't hope that I know she's going to get quite a lot of screen time, but I feel like she's really going to be quite a pillar of this Fantastic Four team, not even just in universe, but actually casting wise as well. I think she's quite a vital most people will probably be like, oh, it's the star Pedro Pascal kind of thing. Not really. I feel like a lot of the cement tying it all together, one of the standouts rather, will be indeed Vanessa Kirby. Overall, though, guys, I actually really like this trailer. It gives me a really good vibes of a movie that is about, obviously, the Fantastic Four, that pertains to their origin, the threat of the cosmic rays that they go and investigate, how they come into their powers, how they help around Earth, even with, just seeing the Thing, pulling that freaking giant-ass ship and things like that, but then coming to terms with more and more things that are happening and coming their way. On top of the family unit, the family dynamic, a child on the way, the repercussions of their powers, the repercussion from what Reed Richards is teasing, that he stretched beyond the fabric of space and they heard, or whatever, Galactus, and how they're going to deal with that and overcome it together. I feel like movies I'm really hoping that, as I said earlier, Fantastic Four is the situation of, the team that is still becoming. Of course, they're not veteran Fantastic Four, yet we're not solely focusing on origin. But obviously, that origin is going to be in this movie to a certain extent, but I think it's going to be dabbled in. And I would prefer it that way, because going from origin, beginning to middle to end of where they're at, a baby on the way as well, it just feels like a lot of that could feel rushed. Now, I'm not saying like major time jumps or anything like that, but I just feel like maybe the way they're going to edit this and like showcase things like what we've already discussed could be played around with quite a bit. It feels like there are periods that clearly are quite long after the cosmic ray incident, if you will. And I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, this is a movie that is like, not even for the sake of the channel. I would be like, hey, to my wife, let's go see this movie. Like, this is absolutely an MCU movie that I want to see. You know, plus it's the Fantastic Four, so I kind of want to see that. But genuinely, in of its own right, I think it looks like they've earned my ticket sale through the marketing, I would say. But I know some of you don't feel that way. So let me know your thoughts. Any theories, any ideas? Maybe I'm miles off the mark with some of the things that I said, but there's my vibe. There's my post reaction impressions of the official trailer. But if you got this far in the video, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like on it. That would be greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing for more Marvel content like this. I know I fell off Daredevil. It's honestly because I went on my honeymoon. It's like 3 or 4 episodes because of that. And then when I came back, I was catching up with other things. I do apologize. Hoping to maybe do a season overview or something like that. But until next time, guys, looking forward to see what you have to say about Fantastic Four. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Goodbye.